Welcome to another mini video from 2dgameartguru.com. Today I'll be coloring in PNG and SVG black and white images in Affinity Designer. Especially when you buy stock images, they usually come in various formats. I'll show you the different approaches to coloring the bitmap versus the vector files. I start by bringing in the PNG bitmap file. The layers panel displays the file name and the top menu, the dimensions as well. Both files are embedded objects. In order to edit them, I need to get to the vectors. By clicking on Edit Document, I can open the SVG file in a separate panel, copy and paste the vector curve into my design, and it now shows as a pass with the icon for a curve in the layer panel. Start with the PNG file. In order to work on the bitmap, I switch to the pixel persona. The different toolbar gives me a flood fill tool, which I can apply on enclosed areas. Again, this is an embedded image, so I need to rasterize it first, turn the image into an editable pixel layer, and then I can flood fill. With the standard tolerance level, the anti-aliasing of the pixels to turn angle lines into smoother lines becomes quite visible. I increase the tolerance level to cover a wider range from white to darker gray. I can use the color panel or the swatches to pick different colors and color the areas. Coloring a solid object like the design on the t-shirt shows the limitations. I can color the object, but I lose the smoothness around the edges. It definitely works and is a quick way to color in the design. I do lose quality, however, and further edits are not quite that easy. Another way to add color to bitmap images is via color shapes. I have the PNG and a JPEG version of the image. The transparent PNG shows a color shape below, while JPEG has no transparency and will cover up the color. I can use the pen tool or the pencil tool to create the shapes for the different colors. I use the node tool to adjust the curves and align them with the black outline of the PNG image. This is a more time-consuming process, and I would recommend it only for a few colored highlights rather than the full illustration. Even though the JPEG does not allow transparency, I can use colored shapes and place them on top of the design by setting the layer blend mode of the shapes to multiply. The black outline below won't be affected by the multiply because it's already dark and can't go any darker than black. The downside of this method is the need for a white background. I can speed up the process by using a group and setting the group's blend mode to multiply. That way I don't have to worry about each object's blend mode. There are also ways to turn a non-transparent JPEG image into a transparent object. One way is by turning it into a mask. I place a black rectangle below, invert the JPEG image. In a raster mask, white is opaque and black is transparent. Turn the image into a raster mask, group it with the black rectangle, and the result is a black outline with transparency. Alternatively, I changed the layer blend mode of the JPEG image itself from normal to multiply. The white will be ignored and only the dark colors will be added to the scene. After getting sidetracked a little bit, let's look at the vector shape I imported from the SVG file. In order to edit that one, I switch back to the vector persona, which offers me the vector flood fill tool in version 2. It creates new vector shapes within the boundaries of a selected object. I select my outline, use the color flood fill tool, pick my color and click away and get very precise fills for those areas. Unlike the bitmap version, I have no problem with the sharpness of the design if I color the solid shape. I do encounter problems though with tiny shapes like the eyes For the vector flood fill tool to work, you need to have a vector shape with enclosed areas selected. A quick side note on the vector flood fill tool: it doesn't matter what you see, the tool requires connecting shapes. When you work with strokes and the lines are looking connected, but in the X-ray or outline view have gaps, the flood fill tool won't work. Either close the lines by connecting the nodes, or use a duplicate of the shape, expand the lines, and fill the colors into the duplicate. Let's look at an alternative approach to color in the SVG file. Rather than fill in and create new shapes, I'll be using the existing shapes by separating the outline into its sub-curves. I create a new layer and place the curve inside, as it will be split into a lot of new curves. I select the object and use the Boolean operation divide. The result is a multitude of black shapes. By coloring them in a different color and just selecting the outline, coloring that black again, I have an idea what I'm dealing with. Alternatively, switch to outline view. It shows shapes that are hidden by having the same color as the shape below. The black outline now is a black silhouette, which means parts that were transparent before are no longer transparent. I select those curves and subtract them from the background silhouette. Select the shapes, select the silhouette and use Boolean subtract. The result is the silhouette with added holes. I can now select each shape sitting on top of the black silhouette, give it a different fill color, use the swatches or add a gradient. Instead of creating new shapes with the vector flood fill tool, I'm coloring the existing ones. With this approach, I have a lot of shapes sitting on top of a black silhouette, or if I color it green, it's a green silhouette. When using the vector flood fill tool on the outline, I have a black outline and create new fill shapes inside its boundaries. Coloring in the PNG file leaves me with just a single pixel layer. Each of those approaches has its pros and cons. Personally, I would go with a split vector image, as it gives me overlapping, scalable and easy to edit shapes, while the vector flood fill tool might leave hairlines when I scale the design. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. If you did, please subscribe to my channel, leave a like, and I will see you again soon.